Well, obviously, it's the last game in the building. So we wanted to win the game. Obviously, you always want to win at home, but it's been a special place with a great history. And I'm honored to have been a part of the history here. And secondly, really proud of our seniors. This is my third year coaching this group of guys. And I just really proud of the resilience that they've shown this particular year with all the things that have come our way for us to be improving at this time of the year is a credit to those guys as well as our staff. And so as far as the game itself, second half, 0 for 9 for 3, 0% from the three-point line. They shot 31% for the half. And even though our numbers weren't sparkling, we were better in the second half. And we made some free throws down the stretch, which was key. And we got some stops when we needed to. And we got to keep getting better so that we can find a way to put a full 40 minutes together at a high level. But it's really good to get a win.
Appreciate it, Coach. At this time, we'll take questions from members of the media. Go ahead.
Coach, what sort of flipped at halftime? Is it right from the jump in the second half? It seemed like the energy was different.
Well, you know what? I think sometimes with players, it's just a matter of maturity that, you can tell guys all you want. Don't get over emotional. Don't get wrapped up in that stuff. You got to play the game. I do think sometimes guys in their mind, they make a script for how the game should go on senior night and the last game in the building, instead of getting lost in the game itself and playing every possession like it matters. The other team, especially a good, talented team like Louisiana, is rarely going to play along with the script that you have in mind. You got to play the game. And I felt like in the first half, we just were walking around like it was our night and things were just going to go our way. Meanwhile, Louisiana was involved in a basketball game. And I think in the second half, we woke up and we started playing with some energy and some fight. And Louisiana responded. And then we reasserted ourselves and we finished strong. And it's a credit to our guys, so it turns out to be a good win against a very good team.
Coach Marcel to Sports Inquirer, you forced 17 turnovers, scored 20 points off of those turnovers. What's been just a change in defensively over the past few games, and particularly tonight against Louisiana, that you're getting to create all these opportunities and taking advantage of these mistakes that you're making the other team create?
Yeah, you know what? I think when we're really engaged, we can have that effect on teams, and we don't go into games thinking that we got to turn people over a certain number of times to be successful. We just want to pressure the ball and pick you up full court. We're not a pressing team where we do a whole bunch of different presses. We just pick you up 94 feet and guard you the whole way. And so sometimes that can be disruptive to people, but when it's not, we still feel like, that's how we play. And we may have to win the game another way. But so I just think we've gotten better defensively, and it's a credit to our team that they recognize that was a tremendous weakness for us. And we've got a group who had some big goals coming into the season, and it became apparent that we weren't trending that way, and defense was the reason why. And to their credit, they've stepped it up, and we got to continue to improve in that area.
He's not a senior, but Jalen Thomas, I think team high 18 points, 8 rebounds, just missed a double-double. We've talked already about in the past about him maturing and showing some maturation. What about tonight? Just being final game at the arena, final home game. Just about him and his development from the middle of the season to where he is now.
Yeah, just his competitive spirit. I think it started with Jalen coming out of the starting lineup and the maturity with which he handled that situation, how he took ownership of the fact that he wasn't playing well, that he deserved to come off the bench. And he came to practice each day thereafter with a renewed sense of competitive spirit. and that has ruled the day in his case. Now he's become more reliable and more consistent, and we still get the same sort of contribution from Jaheim. He's still a reliable young guy who can help you win games. But Jalen is a guy we should be able to rely on for consistency, and he's begun to provide that.
Flipping back to the turnovers with the offensive side, you only had one in the final 20 minutes. Was that also just kind of part of refocusing at the half, going possession at a time?
Yeah, again, I just thought our heads weren't fully into it. You could see the guys were misty-eyed because it's senior night, and I did a good job not crying tonight. I was really prepared not to cry, so I fought it off because I normally do. I'm a sap when it comes to these things, and I do enjoy this group. I got love for these guys. I'm going to miss them, but I also feel like there's a lot of basketball left in us. So I don't feel like this was the end. It was just the end of the regular season. So I still get to coach these guys. We still get to practice in this building this week. So I was a little bit more composed than usual, but I think those guys were feeling some emotions that they carried into the game. And again, Louisiana was just playing basketball, and we thought we were going to be on some magic carpet ride. And instead, we found ourselves in a hole, and to our guys' credit, we dug our way out.
Marcel, too, against Sports Inquirer, how valuable is it getting that first round bye? Earlier in the season, bottom of the standings, now you're in the top 4 guaranteed. How big is that for you just to move your way up into that position and heading into the conference tournament?
Yeah, it's big, I guess. I've been a part of teams that have won 4 in 4 days. So that's possible. Plus, in our tournament, there's a day in between. So, but it is good that you get a bye. Sometimes, with the fact that teams that got to win 4, that you get a day off to prepare for you, sometimes it's not as much of an advantage as it could be. And it may not be an advantage anyway, because it's March. So you don't know what's going to happen. So the reality is, it's just a matter, it just symbolizes that we didn't give in to the adversity that we were experiencing early in the conference season. And for us to have a 9-5 record after starting 0-4, again, is a credit to our guys that they hung in there. And we knew we were a better team. We had some cancellations. I think at the end of the regular season, we may have the least amount of conference games of anybody in the conference. And so with all of that, with the missed practices and everything, we've had a lot of, we have a long journey, and we seem to have some solid footing now.
I know you said it didn't follow a script, but in the second half especially, it seemed like each of the seniors did get a moment where they got to contribute in a big way, and it seemed like they were really enjoying that down the stretch.
Yeah, I think, and again, I think those guys put some undue pressure on themselves. They should have been having a blast that whole game. And maybe the urgency of being behind, they woke up and started playing basketball and playing with some heart, and it was a great run. And obviously, as far as scripts go, I wouldn't want it to go the way it went, but having come back and turn the game around the way we did the last 2 games, really, it's a good experience for us. I don't want to make a habit of that, but it certainly shows that we've developed some mettle as a team. As far as itinerary is concerned,
I was like, when you head down to Florida, when's the bus? Are you flying? Are you taking a plane? What's the itinerary?
we're going to travel. We're going to practice on Thursday and travel on Thursday, and then we'll get down there, practice down there on Friday. And then obviously we don't know what time we're going to play or what the matchup's going to look like. I guess we'll know that tonight or tomorrow or whatever. So.
Do you think this can be a good 8 days in between games to kind of reset a little bit, get ready for conference tournament?
Yeah, we got some old guys, you know what I mean? They need some treatment, some ice, and, so it'll be good. But we need some good practice time too. We've missed a lot of practice time this year. So we'll get to have 3 or 4 good days of practice and to work on some things. I think that'll serve us well.